ground shake.
Good morning, hello students. We're going to start with the microeconomics chapter number 1, part 4 video, which is going to be related towards the organizational economic activities. Organization of economic activities, if I'm going to talk about the basic problem, as I have discussed in the previous videos, the basic problems of the economy are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So these three are the problem faced by the economy. Okay, and it has clearly been discussed in the previous videos about what to be produced, how to be produced, and for whom to be produced. Now these problems can be solved either by the free interaction of individuals or pursuing their own objective as it done in the market, or in the planned manner by some central authority like the government. So here they're talking about two things. If I talk about an individual, they're talking about an individual or about the government. So these two are the economic activities. Okay, so whenever we are having any economic activity and we are having the problems of what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, we are having two options. Either this problems can be solved by individuals. Okay, this can be solved by individual. That means an individual person who is owning his own personal amount of business, and every businessman is having an objective of providing products, that is goods and services, to the market. Okay, so this can be done by the individual, that is personal individuals, or it can be done by the government. And what is the objective of the government? Again, providing goods and services to the society. Okay, so two options are there. Either individually we can do it, either with the help of the planned economy, that is planned manner, we can do it by the government. Okay, now there are three economic activities. Okay, so when we are talking about economic activities, so these economic activities can be functioned with the help of what? With the help of three systems. Okay, so three systems. First one is a centrally planned economy. Okay, centrally planned economy means it is all about the government, where it is planned. Okay, so it is planned manner. Getting it? So it's the central authority, that means the central government will decide how to produce, what to produce, and for whom to produce the goods and services. Okay, second system is the market economy. Getting it? So this is the market economy. In this market economy, we are talking about the individuals. Okay, so here the individuals are going to take the decision. Here it is not planned, it is all about the single ownership, or a businessman who is going to single or solely provide the decision of how to produce, what to produce, and for whom to produce, where planning is not done, coordination is not there, any amount of collaboration of other people are not there, where the single owner is going to decide how the market economy will be functioning in terms of producing the goods and services. But it is opposite case, vice versa case in centrally planned economy, because in centrally planned, as the name itself is saying, it is central and it is planned. That means any economic decision is centralized and it is thoroughly been planned. Then they are going to produce the goods and services with the problems related to what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay, the third system that we are talking about in terms of our economic activity is called as mixed economy. So what is this mixed economy? It is a combination of both my 1 and 2 systems, that is centrally planned economy together with market economy. We form a mixed economy. That means we are having a collaboration of government plus the private institutes. Then we are coming towards mixed economy. Okay, when I talk about individuals, we can say it as a market economy, or we can say private economy, because here the individual functions the business privately, and here the government is taking a central decision. So it is a central government that solves the problem of what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Now this three systems that are actually being involved in the economic activities, we are going to learn very thoroughly in brief with a lot of examples and understand how these systems are being functioning in the society, in the economy, to solve the problems of what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay. Now the first one is the centrally planned economy. So in the centrally planned economy, they say that in a centrally planned economy, the government or the central authority plans all the important activities in the economy. So who is planning here? So here they are saying, when we are talking about a centrally planned economy, getting it? Okay. Here the government and the central authority plans what? Plans all the important activities in the economy. So here in centrally planned economy, we are not talking about private institutes. We are not talking about individual people. We are talking about those important decisions taken by whom? Taken by the government. They can be taken by the centrally planned economy. There might be the government. They might be the central authority plans. All are involved in centrally planned economy for what? For taking the decision in important economic activities. Getting it? Okay. All important decisions regarding what? They take the important decision regarding how will be the production, what will be the exchange, and what will be the consumption of what? Of goods and services are made by the government. So here, whenever we talk about taking decisions taken by the government, they take the decision. But for what they take the decision? They take the decision in terms of what will be the production, how much will be the production, for whom the production is there, what quantity of production has to be produced. So this production decision, how should be the exchange, who has to consume, for whom the goods has to be produced, whether it's for middle class, lower middle class, poor people, high class people, that is what we can say is the rich people. So who is going to actually consume it? Of what? Of the goods and services that has been produced in the society are made by whom? It is made by the government. Okay. The central authority may try to achieve a particular allocation of resources and a consequent distribution of final combination of what? Final combination of goods and services, which is thought to be desirable for the society as a whole. So here the central government decide what should be actually the allocation of resources. As I said you in the previous amount of videos, that the resources are very scarce. Okay, when we have scarce resources means limited resources, we have to properly allocate our resources. So here the central authority, or I can say the government, decide how my resources have to be allocated properly in terms of what? In terms of final distribution of combination of goods or services. So what kind of combination of goods and services that the government has to produce and distribute by allocating a scarce resources or limited resources, so that a desirable amount of quantity can be supplied to the society as a whole. Getting it? Okay. Here they have given an example for clarifying what the centrally planned economy actually does. Okay. So here they say, for example, if it is found that a good or service which is very important for the prosperity and well-being of an economy as a whole, example education or health service, is not produced in adequate amount by an individual on their own, the government might try to induce the individuals to produce adequate amount of such a good or service, or alternatively the government may itself decide to produce the goods or services in question. So here this example is very simple and very easy to understand. Here they say that when we find any amount of goods and services which is very important for the well-being of the country, prosperity of the country, or it is a very important element for a country. For example, if I am talking about education, education is important to the country. If we are educated, we are getting good amount of employment. When we are getting good amount of employment, the GDP increases. When GDP is increasing, the economy is increasing. That means education is very important. If I take two example of a government school and a private school, will you please elaborate saying that whether the government people are providing the services only to the selected people, or it is for each and everyone, as the government is having its right, saying that every student or every child is having a right of having education from 0 to 14 years, and by the government till the age of 0 to 14 years it is free education given by the government to the children. Getting it? So this is what, this is a amount of decision taken by the central government. Do you people, anybody know any institute which is private giving free education from 0 to 14 years? No. Why? Because here comes the individual, here comes the private institutes, here comes the market economy. Individual decision, market economy or private economy is the same. So when we come to private economy, market economy or individual decision, they always work for profit. But there are some amount of economic system like centrally planned economy where the well-being of the nation, that is welfare of the nation, is very important. Okay, when it comes to welfare of the nation, profit making is not important for the government, but providing education, providing health services is very important and essential. So as an example has been given, they say that well-being of the country, economy as a whole, example is education, example is health services, is given by adequate, by whom? By the government, not by the individual. Getting it? So these goods and services have been produced by the government and they have made the decision to produce these kind of goods and services. If I talk about health services also, you are having private health centers, you are having government health centers. When you go to government health centers, if I talk about in Davangere, you are having Chiteri Hospital. If you go there for a normal amount of checkup, you have to take a token of 10 rupees only, where any individual can take the token and you can actually consult towards a reliable doctor. Getting it? But here, the same health services, if you go to a private economy or you go to a private institute, health institute, there they'll charge you a consultation fees of maximum of 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 300 rupees. So as the private individuals are interested in profit making, government institutes, or we can talk about centrally planned economy, always plan the resources in terms of distributing to the people or to the society in terms of welfare of the nation, not in terms of profit making. Okay. Continuation of centrally planned economy. In a different context, if some people in the economy get so little a share of a final mix of goods and services produced in the economy that their survival is at stake means by certain amount of support, then the central authority may intervene and try to achieve an equitable distribution of the final mix of goods and services. So here they say that there might be some situation where government is actually producing some amount of goods services, but they're producing very little amount of goods and services, and the major part of production is done by the private institutes. When the private institutes are producing a major part of this amount of goods and services, at that time government can interfere. Government can interfere in which business? In the private economy, saying that you have to provide some desirable quantity of production and supply. Getting it? For example, if I talk about medicine, okay, in medicine government is also there in terms of producing certain amount of medicines, okay, but private institutions are many who are producing the medicine, paramedicals, okay. In the paramedicals, when medicines are being produced, government has intervention. Intervention means interference is done by the government, saying that you are having a desired amount of quantity. Apart from this quantity, you cannot produce. So this is the interference, or this is the restriction made by whom? Made by the government institute towards the private institute. That means centrally planned economy is interfering in which economy? In the market economy, saying that you have to produce a desirable amount of quantity of goods, and apart from that you cannot produce because restriction has been laid, okay. As you can come up with what we can say, quotas, okay. Quotas are there, okay. In that quotas, in first PUC you have studied that quotas was been fixed in terms of exporting and importing the goods from one country to another. Same way, whenever you are producing any quantity and there is scarce resources, private institutes are being restricted by the central economy, by the central government, and they have to produce only little amount of goods. Getting it? Okay. And if when it comes towards the distribution of the goods, even at that time also, if the market economy is not providing proper distribution of goods, centrally planned economy, that is the government economy, can enter. And at the time of entering, they can interfere, saying that a proper distribution should happen from one person to another. So that means market economy can produce the goods, they can supply the goods, but they will be having some amount of restriction laid down by whom? By the central government. Okay, so this was first amount of economic system, that is centrally planned economy. I hope you people are clear with it, with a brief amount of explanation. Next, I am going towards the second one, that is called as the market economy. So what is market economy? Market economy means private economy, private businesses, a business which has been run by the individual. Okay, let's see what's there in this. In contrast to a centrally planned economy, in a market economy, all economic activities are organized through the market. That means when we are talking about contrast, opposite to centrally planned economy, in market economy, all the economic activities, that is buying and selling of goods and services, are organized by whom? It has been organized by the market. Market means private businesses. Okay. A market, as studied in economics, is an institution which organizes the free interaction of individuals pursuing their respective economic activity. So what is a market? The meaning of market is, in economics, they say that it is an institute. Which kind of institute? Which organizes free interaction of individuals pursuing what? Pursuing their respective economic activities. That means any amount of production, XYZ production of goods and services, ABC production of goods and services, PQR production of goods and services. These amount of production of goods and services, they are interacting with the individuals in terms of what? In terms of economic activity, in terms of buying and selling of goods and services. Okay. In other words, a market is a set of arrangements where economic agents can freely exchange their endorsement. Endorsement means their products, their goods and services or products with each other. An institution is usually defined as organization with some purpose. So here, in other words, if I talk about a market, what is a market? It is arrangement of economic agents. Who are the economic agents? Economic agents are those people who are involved in economic activity of buying and selling of goods and services. They can freely exchange. Freely exchange means they don't have any amount of restriction. You can go out, you're having any amount of private institute, you can buy the goods, you can sell the goods, you can involve in the endorsement, that means buying and selling of goods and services of product with each other. Okay. An institution is usually defined as what? It is defined as an organization with some amount of purpose. Okay, that means it is an institution. Which kind of institution? It is an organization where you are having certain amount of purpose. That means you are having any business. That business is related to XYZ goods production, ABC goods production, PQR goods production. Simply you cannot open up an institute saying that it is a market economy, it is a private economy, but I am not producing any goods, I am not producing any amount of service, then it is not having any amount of purpose. Getting it? Okay. So continuation of the market economy, it is important to know that the term market, okay, so this is important to understand the term market, what happens in the market, okay. The term market are used in economic in a quite different from the common sense understood of the market. See, when I talk about market, you can understand that market might be a place. If I talk about Davangere, Mandipet is a market, okay, there in that area you're having a market. So you think market is a place where buying and selling take place, but now the situation has been changed, the era has been changed, the generation has been changed. Now in economics, it is quite different, the meaning of market. So what does market means in economics? In particular, it has nothing as such to do with the marketplace. So here, whenever I talk about market, you might say it is a place, getting it? But here they say it is nothing related to the place. So what it is? Marketplace, as you might tend to think of. For buying and selling commodities, individuals may or may not meet each other in an actual physical location. So here they are clearly saying that when you talk about market, it is nothing related to the place. If you want to buy certain thing, you may sell the goods not in terms of meeting each other at a particular physical location. If I'm talking about online shopping, so So that is also a marketplace where you're having Amazon is there, Flipkart is there, okay, and you're having different amount of apps where you actually buy the goods and services. You go directly and meet towards the chairman of the Amazon company? No, you indirectly get connected towards the market, and with the help of online you get the trading in terms of buying the goods and services. So now as the era is changing, marketplace is not at all related to the market. Here you can buy the goods and services, you can have your trade activity, exchange of goods and services, where physical location is actually not a purpose of market. Okay, interaction between buyers and seller can take place in variety of situations, such as village chowk is there, or super bazaar in the city, or alternatively buyers and seller can interact with each other through telephone and internet and conduct the exchange of the commodity. So here they say that when we take different amount of buying and selling is happening in different places, we have variety of situation, like we're having village chowk is there, we're having super bazaars in the cities. Alternatively, buyers and seller can what? They can interact between each other through which? Through telephonic calls, internet, or they can conduct any amount of exchange of the commodity from one person to another. Okay, the arrangement which allows people to buy and sell commodity freely, the defining feature of the market. So what is market here in economics? They say that it is all about the arrangement where people can buy and sell the commodity freely, defining the feature of the market. Freely means you don't have any restriction. If you want to buy the goods, you want to sell the good, don't come at a particular location. You can freely connect through your telephone, through your internet, and you are there with the person who buys and sells the commodity, trading, not seeing the person face to face, not visiting a particular amount of location. For the smooth functioning of any system, it is imperative that there is coordination in the activity of different constituents part of the system. Otherwise, there can be a chaos. Okay, chaos. Here they say that whenever you are functioning towards a particular system, there should be a proper amount of coordination. Coordination means if I want trade has to be done telephonically, that means even I should have a telephone, even the person who is selling the good or buying the good also have a telephone. If proper arrangements and coordination is not there, then the entire can be a choice. Okay, so in this choice, what happened? You have to select a media where you are having proper amount of requirements, where you can buy and sell the commodities from the market. Okay. Continuing, you may wonder as to what are the forces which bring the coordination between the activity of million of isolated individuals in the market situation. What is this coordination? When I talk about million of people are there available in the market system. In a market system, all goods and services come with a price, okay, which is mutually agreed upon by the buyers and seller, at which the exchange takes place. So again they are saying, I said you the coordination. Okay, one more time they are saying the coordination. It might be related to some of the goods and services where price is a very important concept. What is very important concept? Whenever I buy any goods and services, I have to keep in mind that price is very important. Okay, so this price helps us to have a mutual understanding between a buyers and seller, where we negotiate, where we bargain, then we are going to actually buy and sell the commodities from the particular places or anything like telephonically or internetly. The price reflects on an average the society's valuation of goods and services in question. If the buyer demand more of certain good, the price of that good will rise. So here they say that when the demand increases or the demand is more, the price of the good is also more. Getting it? If the demand is less, the price of the good is also less. If I talk about the current amount of product which is very much in zoom, okay, very much fashionable, very much demanded in the market is the face masks. Okay, if you want good face masks, more protection has to be taken into consideration. You want good quality, you want good protection and good look of that particular face mask. The demand is increasing, so the price is also increasing. So this is one amount of situation. Okay, this will send a signal to the producer of the good to the effect that the society as a whole wants more of that good than it is currently being produced, and the producer of the good in their turn are likely to increase the production. So here they say that whenever the demand increases, the producer or the production unit get the sign saying that this particular commodity is being very much demanded in the market and the producer wants more of that particular good. Society want more of the amount of the particular good. The producer also start producing those amount of goods. Like face masks, I have given the example. Now it is very much demanded in the market. So what is happening? Most of the places you go and visit, you can see face masks are available. Why? Because the producer got the signal saying that there is demand in the society for face masks and I have to produce more amount of face masks. And nowadays you can see in TV channels also, like Wildcraft is there. They are showing the advertisement of face masks. They are selling their products, what we can say, with the help of television, where they are interacting with the customers through a medium of channel of television, and that is how they are attracting the customer, because the producer got to know there is demand for face masks in the market. Okay, in this way, price of the goods and services send important information to all the individual across the market and help achieve coordination in the market system. So helping coordination with the market system, here the society is demanding more, producer got the signal that particular face mask has to produce more, because demand of the society is more, production also is more. At that time the coordination is being reached. If the demand in the society is less, production is also less, at that time also the coordination is being met. If demand is more, production is less, coordination is not met. Okay, if demand is less, production is more, at that time also coordination is not met in the system. Okay. Thus, in a market system, the central problems regarding how much and what to produce are solved through the coordination of economic activity brought about by the price signal. So, in market economy, I said you, market economy is all about private economy, individual economy, where they are working only with the sole motive of profit maximization. So, price signals are very important for which system? For market economy. Price signals are what? They are very important. Okay, as you see, the demand increases, prices also increases here. Getting it? Price signals are very important to which economy? To only the market economy, private economy. But when I come towards a centrally planned economy, it's all about the welfare of the nation. Okay, the government plans anything that is related to the goods and services to be produced. They are only planning towards the welfare of the nation, not in terms of profit maximization. Now the third one is the mixed economy, the last system in this economic activities. In reality, all economies are mixed economy, where some important decisions are taken by the government and the economic activities are by and large conducted through the market. So mixed economy is what? Where you are having government plus the market economy, private economy, both together are working in a one system that is called as a mixed economy. So in this mixed economy, you can see government, whereas private economic systems are working together. The only differences in this term of this extent of role of government in deciding the course of economic activity. In the United States of America, the role of government is minimal. Okay, the closest example of centrally planned economy is the Soviet Union of major part of the 20th century. In India, since independence, the government has played a major role in planning economic activities. However, the role of the government in the Indian economy has been reduced considerably in the last couple of decades. So here they say that if I talk about United States of America, you can see government interventions or interference is very minimal. All the decisions are being taken by the private economy. But in India, if you take into consideration, in India, there is a lot of decision that has been taken by the government. Okay, if we are in the current situation of COVID-19, the virus has been spread, and as you can see, we had lockdown 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we are coming up with the 5th lockdown. You can see government has taken a major role in controlling the virus spread in our Indian country. That means in India, still most of the decisions have been taken by the government. But here they say that Indian economy has been reduced. Reduce what? They are reducing the intervention in the economy and they are providing more opportunity towards the private sector. I hope all the three systems are being explained very thoroughly to you people, which is very important for 4 marks in your examination. They might ask one question related to centrally planned economy, either for market economy, either for mixed economy. This was the explanation of the organization of economic activity as 3 systems: the centrally planned economy, market economy and mixed economy. Thank you.